Welcome back to the channel, guys. And Turo peak season is right around the corner. You should already see a small increase in bookings, and it'll continue to grow right into the spring and summertime. If you haven't built out your fleet, like I've been recommending in January and February, building out your fleet, finding out how many cars you want and what you need to have ready for the peak season, I'm going to give you 5 vehicles that you should be targeting for Turo and that probably are not on your radar. And we've got a large SUV, a small SUV, a mid-size sedan, a truck. No matter what your market is, I've got something for you. And hang out to the end of the video. I'll give you a tip on how to get the best pricing on the vehicles that you're looking to purchase, without getting the least amount of market adjustment as possible. And let's jump in. All right, the first vehicle on the list is the Chevy Trailblazer. This is a small to mid-size SUV. It's a new model, not to be confused with the Trailblazer, which I don't really like too much. And I don't think it's, they're very pricey for what they are. But the Trailblazer, which is the little brother, or little sister, which however you want to look at it, is a super a small urban vehicle that's got a lot of tech and features that are built into the vehicle, even the lower base models. You can get an LS for a very reasonably priced, mid-20s, somewhere between $24,000 to $28,000. You can find these vehicles out there. There's not a lot of inventory right now, but Chevy has been committed to instead of focusing on only the high revenue vehicles like the Silverados and the Tahoes and Suburbans, they're now deciding to move towards some of these other middle vehicles. The Chevy Trailblazer, if in your market, this vehicle will rent in just about any type of market, whether you're in a beach area or in an urban area. They rent very well. They look very good. And if I was going to try to target one of these vehicles, there's one color that really stands out. It's called Oasis Blue. It's like a Miami blue. And one cool thing about this vehicle, you can get it with a two-tone top. So they have ones where it's a specific color on the bottom, and then the roof is either all white to offset it or all black. I like the all-white. I love the Oasis Blue, which is like a Miami blue with a white top. And if I was going to find that vehicle, that's the one I would want on the platform. As people are swiping left and swiping up and down to try to find a vehicle, that color will pop, I promise you. And this is a great vehicle. It's a little bit higher off the crown than an economy sedan. It really you get a lot for your money as far as that goes. It's an SUV, which are always popular, and I really like this vehicle. It's not as well known as some of like the Jeeps and some of the other vehicles. Number 2 on the list is the Kia Carnival. The Kia Carnival. And I just purchased one of these vehicles. In fact, this is the first vehicle that I paid a minor market adjustment. I paid a $1,000 market adjustment. But doing my due diligence, I really think this is a vehicle that's going to be a power hitter on the Turo platform. And I'll tell you why. I have a 2008 Honda Odyssey that's just been a mule. It's brought in a lot of money. I paid like $6,500 for this thing 3.5 years ago, and it has brought in, I need to calculate it, but it's brought in a lot of money. I need a vehicle to replace it. It rents too consistently. It brings in too much revenue. And in my search to find a vehicle to replace my Honda Odyssey, which is a 8-seater with leather to make it easy to clean. If you're going to have a minivan or something similar to that vehicle, you got to have leather because the cloth seats just get destroyed with families and stains, and you don't want that, okay? Free tip there. But I needed a vehicle to replace the Honda Odyssey. The Honda Odyssey, the doors are just sticking. It's got lights that come on, and I'm putting money into it all the time, it seems like. And it's time to go. And so in my search to replace my Honda Odyssey, I found the Kia Carnival. It's a brand new vehicle. Kia's been making it for less than a year. And one of the brands that has made massive increase in popularity and in market share is Kia. And Kia has just, these are not the Kias of old. These are very high quality vehicles, very reliable vehicles. If you look at any of the reliability charts, they're way at the top, right up there with Toyota and Honda and some of the other vehicles. And they got an outstanding warranty. They're not calling this thing a minivan. They're calling it an MPV, or multi-purpose vehicle. But the styling of it, if you get pictures, it looks like a Suburban. It looks very similar to a Suburban from the sides, from the back. Their styling cues, they on purpose tried to style the vehicle like a large SUV rather than a minivan, even though it has some, really convenient sliding doors. And so this is a vehicle that, in my research, I thought, man, this thing could be a hit. And the reason I know that is because Kia's had great success with the Telluride. I wish I was early to the Telluride market. I wish I picked up a Telluride 2 or 3 years ago when they first came out. Super popular, great reviews, people love them. You cannot buy a new Telluride without in my area, anything close for several hundred miles without a $5,000 to $6,000 market adjustment. And it's had that market adjustment for over a year and a half, 2 years now. The model you want to target is the LXS, which is the base model, but the S adds an 8th seat, and it gives you all leather interior. And with a lot of Kias, it's really packed with features. A lot of the mainstream features that most manufacturers you'd have to pay for come standard on a lot of the Kias. So that's a great value. The next model is the EX, and that's one step up from that. And that's got a lot of luxury feels, big screens, some cool tech with a camera in the back and a microphone system and a lot of different cool things on it, power lift gates and all that kind of stuff. Both of those models are great. If you want to go for the value, look for the LXS, which you can get. MSRPs are around like $35,000 to $38,000 range, and the EXs start out at about $40,000. But with the EX, you can almost sell it as a luxury type vehicle or really a higher end vehicle. Plus, you get a 5-year bumper-to-bumper warranty and a 10-year powertrain. If you want to buy a vehicle you can keep on the platform for 5-6 years, this could be one of them, and this will be a cash cow. I promise you. I've had it on the platform for less than a week. I've already got 3 bookings on it. And of course, I already know that my market really likes these 8-seater vehicles. So next, number 3 is, it's going to be on the list, the Ford Maverick. Okay, I've done a couple videos on this vehicle. The best deal in the marketplace right now is Ford's little urban truck. Look for the hybrid. They're so hard to find, but if you can find one, if you got to order in, stay tight. You will want a Ford Maverick hybrid, or if you don't have an order yet, wait till Ford opens the new order banks in possibly like August and try to put an order in right away. Now, the Maverick, I'm not telling you the Maverick is going to be the vehicle that's going to rent the most on your platform. It's too early to tell. I think it'll rent like an average small truck, but the good thing about the Maverick is it's not going to depreciate. The Maverick will hold its value for the next 2 or 3 years. You'll be able to sell the truck for close to what you paid for, maybe in that 2-year range. And anytime you can do that, all your rental profit in the middle is profit. All your rental income in the middle is profit. And that's the safest way to do this game. And the bottom line is, if you really need to rent it, you can lower the price. If you start pricing this thing at $50 and $60 a day or $40 a day, because you're only paying 25, 28 grand for it, you can almost rent it like a more economy vehicle. So, if you need the rentals, you can get it. But Ford Maverick is and it's not really what people think of as a Turo vehicle. But it's a great deal. It'll hold its value, and it will rent as well, I think. So, number 4 is another Kia, the Kia K5, and this is a mid-size sedan, super sleek, super sexy, a lot of good features in this model. And listen, this market, I know everybody's going SUVs, but the sedan market, there's, remember, even before COVID, Chevy and Ford pretty much abandoned this market with the exception of the Chevy Malibu. But small sedans, Ford got rid of them. Ford doesn't make any cars anymore, hardly, besides like little sports cars like the Mustang and so forth. Chevy's pretty much gotten rid of a lot of their smaller cars. with the exception of the Malibu. Impala's gone, and the Cruise is gone, and the American manufacturers have pretty much given this market to Japan, and with Nissan, Toyota, Honda, and Kia. But this car is a great car. It's a lot of car for the money. And if you're in an urban area, you know, the secret is already out on these. These are good looking vehicles. They're selling. A lot of them, I've seen these marked up, you know, $5,000-$6,000 over MSRP for a Kia sedan, which is just ridiculous. But if you can find a dealership that doesn't have these things marked up, these are great vehicles, and I think they're going to hold their value fairly well. Not only do you get that 5-year bumper-to-bumper warranty, but there's just less and less economy or lower-end sedans out there. So you have some people that still like those vehicles, and commuters and so forth. Because there's not a lot of competition from the big American, the larger manufacturers, Ford and Chevy, there's a dearth for finding similar style vehicles, and the K5 is one of those. It's a great vehicle. It looks great. It handles great. Good reviews, and you got a great warranty with it, even with the 5-year bumper-to-bumper and a 10-year powertrain. So we got 4 new cars on the list, and I'm a big proponent of new cars right now. Most of the vehicles that I've purchased recently are new because used cars are up 42 to 45%, and new cars are up like 12 to 15%. So I think new cars are a better value, a better deal. But there is one used vehicle. Number 5, it's called the Chevy Volt. This is the Volt with a V, not the B, not Bolt. This Chevy's been making this car since 2010. It's got a very hardcore following, but in 2017 they came out with a new design, a new model, and it's really a fully electric vehicle, but it can also run on gas, and so it's a very unique powertrain. It's a unique vehicle. It wasn't as popular as they thought, and they only made it for 3 years. I bought the vehicle in August. In December, there was 2 articles that came out that called this vehicle the best deal for a used vehicle right now is the Chevy Volt. It goes under the radar, and but the cool thing about the vehicle is it's fully electric. You can go up to 50 miles on electric battery alone, so it's got a nice sized battery in it. And then it switches over to gasoline, and you can go for like 300, 400 miles of gasoline. Super efficient vehicle. You know, as gas prices goes up, look for a deal on one of these vehicles. If you can find one of these Volts for in that 15 to 20,000 price range, if it's a Premier and it's got the adaptive cruise, maybe you go into the 20s. But if you can find one of those, snag it, because these vehicles have a hardcore following of people that are still driving 2010 through 2015s. You know, you can rent it kind of like an economy vehicle, but I think they're going to hold their value very well, and they're super reliable vehicles. There's a lot of these vehicles will go 100 to 200,000 miles. Consistently. The batteries don't really degrade very often, and they're good quality vehicles. Chevy's been making them for a long time, and it's the basis of a lot of the technology that Chevy's been working on for their EVs, which they're going a lot of EVs, as we mentioned with the EV Silverado coming, and a lot of other vehicles. They want like 30 vehicles, EV vehicles in the next 10 years. Look for the Volt. Try to find it. It's still a good deal out there, and it's the only used vehicle I have on the list. 5 vehicles there. One quick tip. The pricing has changed when it comes to dealerships. So in the past, you know, I'm in the DC, Baltimore market, and typically, you know, our dealers were very competitive. I mean, we would sell, and it was, you know, not only two years ago where we were selling, you know, brand new trucks for, you know, $8,000-$9,000 under MSRP because of how competitive the market is. All the dealerships that were there competing with each other, undercutting each other in price, and so you could really get the better deals in the cities, in the urban, with all the competition. Now that there's a lack of inventory, the urban dealerships, the big dealerships in the city, there's a lot more people there, and there's less inventory, so that those dealerships typically are marking up the vehicles higher. Much larger market adjustments in the cities, in the big cities. as far as purchasing new vehicles. So if you're looking to buy a new vehicle, you're better off going farther away. Get out into the rural areas. I'm telling you, in the past, those dealerships typically had higher prices for vehicles because they didn't have competition. That's not the case anymore. So if you can go out at the Kia Carnival, which selling in my area were $6,000 markups, I was able to drive about 200 miles away, 250 miles away, about 3-hour drive away, and I was able to get one brand new for $1,000 market. So that's a huge difference in pricing. And you can get those deals out in the rural areas where they're smaller dealerships. They're more sensitive they're more cognizant and sensitive to their client base who are buying them, and they're a little bit more afraid to mark the vehicle up for $5,000, $6,000. So you can find some deals out there, and don't be afraid to travel a little bit to find a new vehicle. But you got limited time to fill out your fleet for the busy season because it's coming. And so hope this is helpful to you. If you've got a vehicle that I missed, and I know there's others out there, what vehicles are you targeting, you're looking to buy soon, that are not typically thought of for good Turo vehicles, like the Wranglers and the Broncos, all those things that people know about. What other vehicles out there? I'd like to get your input. And until next time, I'm out. Thanks, guys.